We move on now to our second leading story. Somaliland, a self-declared state broken away from Somalia since 1991, has just elected a former rebel leader, Musa Bihi Abdi, as president. Abdi, a former Air Force pilot, was the candidate of the ruling Kulmiye party. He was declared the winner of the presidential elections with a lead to more than 55% of the votes. Somaliland is considered a territory in Somalia by the international community, but still enjoys a level of stability.
Well, despite more than 2 decades of diplomatic isolation, Somaliland has held 4 peaceful elections. With 4 million people, there has been economic growth as Somalis in the diaspora return home to invest. But being a pocket in the region that has seen terror attacks, violence and human rights abuses, what role do the women of Somaliland play as the country seeks international recognition?
Que dire de la situation des droits humains dans cet îlot d'Afrique de l'Ouest et en matière politique? Quel rôle jouent les femmes du Somaliland dans le contexte où le territoire continue à se battre donc pour obtenir une reconnaissance internationale de son statut étatique? Autant de questions que nous posons.
Well, with us now is Sagal Ashur, the Executive Director of Save International in London, to try to answer this question. Good morning, Sagal Ashur, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Let's first begin with the recent presidential elections that were recently held in Somaliland. What did you think was the place of women?
As you mentioned, we just had an election concluded in Somaliland, which went relatively peaceful. And the winner of the election was the ruling party, Kulmiye party. And the new president is Musa Bihi Abdi. So yes, coming back to your question regarding women in politics in Somaliland. Generally, I would say that women in Somaliland politics is minimum, is very minimum. And currently, there's only 4 female ministers. However, that being said, in the last couple of years, there has been some positive movement. One of the issues around women political participation in Somaliland is that they are largely marginalized from participating in politics, and they face challenges and barriers. Some of these challenges and barriers are a complex set of factors. They are often embedded in local tradition, culture, or religion, or a mixture of all 3 of them. For example, the patriarchal system in Somaliland discourages women from participating in politics. This is because a clan system and clanism is very embedded in the culture of Somali people. And that is across the whole country, whether it's the independence-seeking region in Somaliland or whether it's South Central, where clan is very important. And also, therefore, political parties are deeply rooted in the clan system. And the clan system is male-dominated. And that's why women have a very limited space to run for position. One of the other factors that play a role in minimizing women participation is this perception that when for a woman to take part in political participation is a Western phenomenon and is viewed as a Western agenda. However, some of general issues, which is quite widespread across the whole of Africa, is challenges such as economic, social, financial challenges, and these also play a role in hindering women participation.
Sagal, on parle du Somaliland comme
Sagal, the country is seeking international recognition.
Comment décrirez-vous le territoire comparé
How can you describe the territory?
I myself have family from both Somalia and Somaliland, and just for the record, I actually very neutral when it comes to the internal regional politics, and I don't really support or take any side. But back to your question, it's a very good question because there are some differences or big differences between the current situation in Somaliland. As you mentioned, there's a relative peace in Somaliland compared to Somalia, which is still dealing with the Al-Shabaab insurgents and terrorist group, and they're getting help by AMISOM, African soldiers, helping them to reestablish stability and peace in the south. However, because of this difference between the two areas, it results in a difference in what women can do and the freedom that they enjoy. And in Somaliland, I would say in the last 5 years, women have had an increase of rights and freedom. And you see a lot of more movement around women groups and women organizations who are really trying to challenge lawmakers and challenge the leaders of the country to ensure that there are more women who are joining parliament, there are more women who are lawmakers. However, these changes are happening relatively very slow and is not happening fast enough. Like, as I mentioned to you, there's only 4 female ministers in Somaliland. The women in Somaliland are hindered religiously, culturally from being able to express themselves in a certain way and have certain freedoms. However, I would say generally, Somali women have always played a significant role and have often been involved in mediating enduring conflicts, whether in the south or whether in the north. But especially in the north, if you go back to the history of Somaliland, women have played a significant, important role in ensuring the peace and the reconstruction of that country that we see today. However, also things like FGM is still widespread. A law was introduced in Parliament, but it wasn't passed. So we are still facing these challenges on a daily basis. And also, lastly, one of the things that is hindering progress in regards to women empowerment is that even when a law is introduced, that law, it takes a long time before the law is implemented. And sometimes the laws are not implemented and acted upon.
Nous allons devoir refermer cette page sur la place des femmes en politique au Somaliland.
Thank you very much, Segal Ashur, the Executive Director of Save International, joining us from London in the United Kingdom.
Segal Ashur est directrice de l'organisatrice Save International et qui s'exprimait depuis Londres au Royaume-Uni.